MTDCNC Podcast, sponsored by Langley Alloys. Unique metals for demanding applications, providing first-class performance and an international service.
Hello and welcome to this week's MTDCNC Podcast. On this podcast, I'm joined by Louisa Johns and Ryan from Oemeta. So, Louisa, where did the Oemeta journey begin?
So I joined Oemeta 15 years ago, and I will be honest, I didn't know anything about coolants, cutting fluids, oils or anything. I started off in the business generation team doing the telesales, and it was as a temporary job. But it has got me to where I am now, which is sales manager. And it's, from my point of view, a really good company with really good values, products. And I really enjoyed the whole journey, working with engineers of all types. We work with big companies that building huge submarines right down to one-man teams. And I really enjoyed it.
Well, looks like the temporary job worked out for you then.
Yes, indeed. It wasn't what I was expecting to stay in engineering, but after all this time, it's.
Well, if anyone watches the videos from Key Precision, and you can, you're in the background of a lot of them with a lot of knowledge. So let's put it, you've learned a lot by the sounds of it.
Yeah, I think we all take in more than we realise. And then when you do meet customers, and like at Key Precision, I remember calling Greg probably within the first year of starting, so maybe 14 years ago, when he also was working on the shop floor, and now he's in MD. So we both watch each other grow older, and you get to know people. And lots of people I talk to every day, I've had long-standing relationships with, and it's really good to see. And it's really good to be part of all the different changes and seeing different shop floors change and evolve. I was in one yesterday that was completely different from when I first started going and visiting. So it's nice having the amount of years with a company.
Well, Ryan, let's move on to yourself. Where did it all begin?
So for me, my background is actually construction. I spent 8 years selling building materials. I fancied a change. I fancied trying myself in something new. Saw it all open up at Oemeta. Like Louisa, I didn't know anything about coolant, lubricant, anything like that. So I didn't actually know what I was really applying for. But I interviewed, and the thing for me that got me was the data-driven. I love how data-driven that their approach was. And to be honest, they kept hold of their staff. You know, everyone had been there for a long time. So to me, straight away, that said it's a great company to work for. People obviously enjoy working there. So yeah, I made the move, and 4 years this November it'll be for me. And yeah, so really enjoying it.
So talk us through the data-driven side of Oemeta, because with we keep coming back to Key Precision, which is where we currently are. It's all comes down to numbers, and it's all what you guys can prove before you even go with the sale. So talk me through the data-driven side of Oemeta.
Yeah, so in terms of the data-driven, we would never approach a shop floor and say, this is the coolant you need to use without doing our background work we need to do. We need to fully understand the processes on the shop floor, but we need to understand the product that they're using. And to do that, we take samples of our competitor products and we run it through our R&D in Germany. And it's about 60 to 70 different tests that we put this coolant through. It's about a 6-week process, so it is costly and time, and it takes a lot of time. But the data it gives us is critical to everything we do. So it gives us some really key indicators. It talks about the ingredients in the product. It talks about any hazardous substances that are in the product. It talks about performance and the level of performance that you're going to be getting from that coolant. But like I say, we can then use that data to then sit down with a potential customer and look at areas that they want to improve. And then we can then go run the same tests on our own products and make sure that when we come to pick the right product, it works for them.
I think companies really appreciate it. I think we can all be likeable people, and we do ride on building great rapport with our customers and potential customers. We do go in, listen to everything they want to achieve, and spend a lot of time taking down notes, having a look around at areas that we think, not just with the cutting fluids, but other areas we might think we'll be able to bring some of our experience to. But what they really do appreciate is the fact that we bring data with us. So they're not buying from us or the fact that we may get on, they're buying facts. So they can see exactly the product broken down against our product broken down. And it's reassurance, because we're not just going to be buying off the shelf or going in somewhere saying, okay, this is off the shelf, this is what we think may work, and using our relationship like that. We know we're confident in what we're putting forward because we've got the data there, and we talk the customer through the data. We put it into simple terms of that this is the buffer reserve, what you would achieve by increasing your buffer reserve, the stability, and the reasons behind that. So it's really reassurance for the customer as well as for ourselves that when we go into a shop floor that we're confident we really can do what we say we're going to do.
And I think that one thing customers have got to understand with you guys as well is if it's you, Louisa, or you, Ryan, that comes through the door, they're not just getting one person, they're getting a whole team behind to make sure that coolant does exactly what you guys have said it does.
Absolutely. We don't work as individuals. It is a team effort. You know, Ryan and I work together a lot. We'll help each other out. Ryan's customers are my customers. We also have a technical team. We have chemists. We have the delivery team, the accounts team. We've got Ruth in the labs that is constantly working hard to get us the results on time, to make sure all the health and safety is ticked off, all the risk assessments. It is a real team effort, and it's nice for us as well that we've got that team around us.
Well, sorry, Ryan, what were you going to say? So, Ryan, talk us through when you joined from construction, because I don't know many people in construction, but a lot of them work in ones, twos, and then you've just joined this massive team with a team in Germany as well, who are only there to help you help the customer. So what was that like?
Oh, it's great. It's great. It makes my job a lot easier. But it also helps me learn. You know, I'm working with people. Like I said, one of the main reasons why I joined Oemeta was the amount of time people have been here for. So they're all experienced in their own roles. So working with these people is great for me because I get to learn a lot. And the support they offer is really valuable.
Well, talk us through some of the products Oemeta offer, because it's not just coolant either, is it? You guys have got such a plethora of equipment as well.
Yeah, so we consider ourselves a one-stop shop, essentially. You can come to us and obviously we can supply you with the coolant, but we also can do your neat oils for you. We can do your hydraulics. We can do your slideway oils. As well as that, we can do equipment. We can do wash fluids. There really isn't anything that we can't. Cleaners, you know, anything you need, we can supply for you.
We do right up to full fluid management. So we have shop floors where we've got our own staff on, so we can offer the full fluid management process. We've got all the online reports. We also like to bring experience that we have on other shop floors to other shop floors. So passing on things that we see work well that might not be anything that we supply. So it could be some recycling units, some all different parts of equipment, bricketing.
Or to top of anything.
Exactly. We like to look at all the continuous improvement areas on the whole shop floor.
Now let's go through some trials that have worked for you guys, and I think the easiest way to start here is Key Precision, because it's where we are. So tell me about your relationship at Key Precision, because this has been a long time in the making.
Yeah, it has been a long time, and Greg's, you know, a really nice guy, as I like to say most people are. When I first called Greg, I was just starting out, and they were happy. They didn't have any issues. They didn't have any issues when we got to trial, to be honest. We decided to re-come into trial when Greg was working with harder to machine materials, so tooling was a big factor for him. Now, for when you start to work with materials that are a lot tougher and you're going through tooling and your tooling costs go up, then you have to look at the higher performance products. And that's where we brought in the ester. The Estromet is an ester product. It's vegetable, so yes, it ticks all the green boxes, but it's the lubricity that would give him the massive savings. So we spent a lot of time before that just keeping in touch with Greg, but it was really when his process changed a bit that we really could see that we could offer him the advantages.
And I like that. You didn't knock on the door and say, we can do this better. You were just there when he needed you. You were just at the end of the phone.
Yeah, absolutely. We are not the sort of company that pushes in or puts down any other competitor that we have. We are only there if someone wants something that they haven't got at that time.
And I like what you said about the Estromet being green. Is that something you guys have seen a lot more of now? Because obviously health and safety was a big one where your borons and that sort of thing, that had to come out. Now, do you see a lot more companies going for the greener solution now?
Yeah, absolutely. Sustainability is a huge call at the moment. We're all looking at the environment and the impact that we have on it. So anywhere that we can improve is absolutely should be on everyone's forefront. But it's a big tick in the box. And I know for Greg, although it wasn't the reason that he decided to go with the ester products, I know that it's helped him with his health and safety. And I know that it's a big tick in his box to help him get his ISO.
Now, you've just beat me to it. I can't remember the exact number because I only ever did ISO 9001, which is the aerospace one. But he'd just done an ISO, I can't remember, it was like 14 something, I think. And he was saying that without the green product, you don't get it.
Yeah, I think he was doing a specific one to achieve the ISO. And I can't remember, he said if it was 14 or 17.
One of us will be right, I'm sure.
But it was a big tick that made him achieve that. So,
and it's just another step in the right direction for everyone, really, isn't it? So, but we talked about what happened, what coolant Key Precision are now using. But talk me through how you get to that stage, right? So, what happens when you first come in? When Greg rung you and went, well, we need to change now. Talk me through a typical case study you guys would do and how you would solve them problems.
So typically, we always try and keep the first appointment as informal as possible. It's a bit more of a get-to-know-you session. We have a look at the processes, have a look at anything that they're struggling with, anything that they find that they deal with quite well. But it's about understanding where we can offer improvement. So initial meeting, we're going to collect water samples, we're going to collect neat oil samples, so we can send these both off for testing. Obviously, we want to have a look at the water quality in the area, and we want to have a look at the performance level of the coolant they're currently using, so we can look at where we can offer the improvements. So in this case, Louisa mentioned they were machining harder materials, so we knew there were going to be areas for us to target. Once the set of data has come back, we then sit down with them again, and we run through it with them. Compare it to, obviously at this stage we already know what improvements they're looking for. We knew that lubricity was going to be key to them, so we could go away and look at our own range of products and ensure we put in what was right for them.
And then obviously Key Precision have now done their trial. They're really happy with the results, and they're now rolling it out across their shop floor. But what happens next? Because you guys are now moving on to another set of fluids at Key Precision now to try and, well, not try, but you've already proven you can make that better as well.
Well, I think more and most importantly with Key Precision is they bought into the data. So that's made our lives a lot easier. So now we've proven ourselves with the coolant, we can now look at the neat oil. We try not to do it all in one go because we don't want to run before we can walk. It's about proving ourselves in one area first. So coolant completed that. Now we're moving on to the neat oil, and we can do the exact same tests. The data has shown that there'll be significant savings in tooling again. So
I don't know why, but when you said that, and I think you know where I'm going with
completed that.
Yeah, you went cool, completed now. Next one,
exactly that. But that's
just where I could see it in your face that you wanted to say, yeah, we've completed that. Right, what's next? But I think that's great. Is like you said, is you didn't come in and go, let's change everything.
No.
Change one thing.
Let's prove ourselves first.
Exactly. Yeah, and then once you can walk, you can run. So Louisa, I'll point to you for this one. Have you got any other case studies with savings like Key Precision? They got 70% better tool life on some products, 50% on others. That's a massive saving.
I think Greg also said 300 on one job. We have really big case studies at other companies too. So we were confident in this trial. We have saved on some shop floors £16,000 a year on a shop floor that's got 50 to 60 machines. So we know that we can really improve cost savings. What we have to try and change to the people that work on shop floors is to put litre price against litre price. The true value is proved in a trial, and that's where we like to be given the chance. And that's why we offer sell or return trials. There's no risks to the customer. The only risk they give is that we come and clean out the machine. They set the KPIs. We both agree to it. It's a partnership during the trial, but we can prove the cost savings. And here it's been great for a shop floor with the amount of machines that Greg has. It will be free coolant to him. On even bigger shop floors, the cost savings are huge.
So what are some of the the negatives people come back? Because obviously you will give them the KPI, you will give them the data to say, look, why are people so scared of taking that leap?
I would say it's a timing thing. People are busy, and we know what the industry's like in engineering. It is manic, and there's not enough people, and there's people covering other jobs. Other people just don't believe that it's true. We've gone into a massive trial last week where they've been bitten on the bum, even though they've been promised things. And I think that it's a case of just reassuring and doing what we do. And
Just take the leap.
yeah, absolutely. And we allow people to go and talk to our customers. Once we've got a customer, we keep a customer. And we work hard to keep that customer. It's an ongoing relationship with Key. We will continue to not only look at improving his oils to gas to liquids to saving costs there. There will also be ongoing continuous improvements. We'll look at other areas that he might want to improve, that we can offer our advice, but it's the long-standing relationship.
Right. Well, this has been a very informative podcast. I've learned quite a lot from the both of you, to be
That's
brutally
good.
honest. So just to wrap this up, I'm going to ask for 1 point from both of you, just to round up Oemeta as a whole. And looking at Ryan's face, Louisa, I'm going to start with you.
I've got an answer. I'm good for this.
I think to round Oemeta up is that we come in and we listen to what you want to achieve. This isn't about us and us singing how great we are. This is about achieving what the customer wants to achieve. And that can be small things to bigger things, but it's really about the customer and listening to them.
Oh, right, is a good answer.
You've got to say-
It's a good answer.
Yeah, for me, I've thoroughly enjoyed my time with Oemeta. I love the data-driven side of it. You can't lie. Data doesn't lie, so it can't be argued. And when you get onto shop floors and people buy into the data, it's really, what's the word?
It proves your point.
It really does. And people are really grateful for the changes that we've made because we make significant changes. But it's the aftercare as well. The aftercare is key. Obviously, I'm biased, but it's second to none. I hear it regularly on shop floors that people aren't getting a service, or the service isn't good enough, or they're only doing part of the checks. Whereas we give as little or as much as you want. We come on, we do free training for all of our customers. No matter the size, you could buy 1 drum a year, you could buy 100 drums a year. You're going to get the same service, and it's just offering whatever support they need.
Mm-hmm.
And just to finish off, you guys are nationwide.
We are.
We are.
And if somebody
Worldwide.
Yeah.
worldwide. But if somebody's listening to this podcast or seen the videos and would like more information, what's the easiest way to get in contact with you to arrange a visit?
Really, we're on LinkedIn. We're on, you can go on our website, get our email address. You can contact us anyway. And just for an informal chat, there's, like we proved with Greg, there's no pushing in. We're not trying to push our way in or fool anyone. Sometimes it's an informal chat that something happens right away. Other times it is in a few years' time. We work with the customer.
Oh, that's brilliant. Well, for me and everyone at MTDCNC, thank you guys, and
Thanks for having us.
we'll definitely get you back on again in the future.
Cheers, Tom.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the MTDCNC Podcast, sponsored by Langley Alloys, specialists in a wide range of exotic materials for any application for all your engineering needs.